Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. A single word travels faster than headlines. Today, no exclamation mark, no flourish, just calm, almost ordinary. Yet millions paused. Some said it felt like a whisper. Others thought it sounded like a bell. A red wall, a quiet temple line. A bloom that seemed to lean into the light. Nothing dramatic, nothing staged. Or was that precisely why it felt so powerful? We do not meet the post with answers. We meet it with our own questions. Was it a sign, a farewell, a reminder, or simply a moment captured then shared? Here is the strange truth of grief in a digital age. One picture becomes a mirror. One caption becomes a chorus. Tonight, we will not rush to conclusions. We will walk carefully through a gallery of stillness and wonder what it means to live well, to listen gently, and to let today do the quiet work it was always meant to do. Welcome to Update X24H, a place where stories are carried with steady hands and a clear conscience. We know you come from many cities and customs: New York and Seoul, Tokyo and Bangkok, Singapore and Manila, Sydney and Melbourne, Paris and Lyon, Toronto and Vancouver, Jakarta and across Europe, bringing your own memories, values, and hopes. Our promise is simple, and it is the same wherever you are. We will tell human stories with care, and we will not trade dignity for drama. In a world crowded with noise, we slow the pace, so that what matters can be heard. Here you will always find a line between what we know and what we feel. Facts anchor us. Feelings give those facts meaning. When the record is clear, we will say so plainly. When details are uncertain, we will name the uncertainty and resist the urge to fill the silence with suspicion. We believe restraint is not weakness but respect. Respect for those at the heart of each story, and respect for you, the audience, who deserve clarity more than spectacle. We choose language that steadies rather than inflames, because we understand that behind every headline is a person, a family, a life that once held ordinary days. We are mindful of trust. Advertisers, creators, and communities share a public square. It should be safe for everyone. We avoid material that exploits grief or invites harm. We choose images with intention and context. We cite responsibly when sources allow, and we never mistake rumor for evidence. Our role is not to shout the loudest. It is to listen hardest, to weigh carefully, and to speak with a voice you can return to without bracing yourself against cynicism. If you are joining us for the first time, settle in. If you have been with us for a while, thank you for your patience and your steady company. Tonight, as always, we will move with calm attention. We will hold the facts in one hand and compassion in the other. And we will leave room for reflection where certainty runs out. That is the spirit of this channel. That is our promise to you. And if, in the quiet between sentences, you find a little more space to breathe, then this work has done what it set out to do. On August 29, 2025, a small carousel of images slipped quietly onto a screen. A red wall washed in soft light, a temple line traced against the sky, a cluster of blossoms that looked as if they had paused mid-breath. Beneath them, a single word: today. There was no flourish, no signal pointing to what we should think or feel. The post did not argue its case. It simply arrived and waited. Yet almost at once it gathered people from distant time zones and different languages into the same, attentive stillness. They looked, saved, returned, and looked again, as if the images were not windows but mirrors. In that reflective surface, each person found something of their own life. A memory they had not touched for years. A worry they had carried without naming. A longing for the ordinary day that too often slips past unnoticed. What gave the post its quiet force was not mystery so much as modesty. It refused to perform drama on our behalf. In a world that hurries to explain, this small square chose to be exactingly simple, and that is why it pressed upon the heart. We bring meaning to what we attend to. The red wall becomes the warmth of a summer afternoon. The temple roofline turns into a ledge for thoughts to settle. The blossom suggests a season that comes and goes whether or not we are ready. The caption holds no instruction, only a plain invitation to inhabit the present tense. It asks without asking whether we are truly here for our own lives. As the post traveled, it gathered gentle rituals around it. People paused at their desks before the next email, stood by a window between tasks, or messaged a friend they had meant to call. They did not seek a riddle to solve so much as a rhythm to keep. Attention, breath, gratitude, a step taken with deliberation rather than haste. In this way, the images formed a small bench in the day, a place to sit and breathe until the noise receded. Perhaps this is the honest work of certain pictures. They do not tell us what to feel. They remind us that feeling is possible. Today is not a code. It is a threshold. We cross it each morning without ceremony, and yet it is the only door we have. Here now is where we choose our words, our gestures, our care. And if a quiet post made us look long enough to notice, then its purpose is already fulfilled. In the days that followed, people did what people always do when love and uncertainty meet. They reached for detail. They held the images to the light and asked patient questions about shadows and weather, about the season a blossom prefers, about notices that might have closed a gate on one day and opened it the next. They wondered whether the photographs were captured earlier and shared later, whether a scheduling tool placed them quietly in the stream, whether the choice of that day carried a private meaning that none of us will ever know. There is nothing unkind in such curiosity. It is, in its gentlest form, a way of saying we care enough to look closely. But care has another face too, and it is the discipline to stop where knowledge ends. We can name what stands firm, the date a post appeared, the images that traveled, the single word beneath them. We can allow what is reasonable, the possibility of older pictures offered anew, of drafts timed in advance, of personal rhythms that do not require public explanation. And we can be honest about what remains beyond our reach, the precise hour of capture, the private reasons of a private life, the meanings that belong to a family before they belong to the world. Restraint is not a cold thing. It is warmth held at a steady temperature, so it does not burn the people closest to the story. It is the choice to avoid stitching guesses into a narrative, to refuse the small thrill of certainty we have not earned. When we speak, let us speak in sentences we would be willing to read aloud to those who grieve. When we pause, let the pause honor the living and the dead. There is dignity in admitting that a photograph may be nothing more or less than a moment that mattered to the person who took it, and that our wish for tidy causation says more about our own ache than it does about the truth. In time, some questions find clearer answers. Others remain as they are, opening a quiet space in which humility can breathe. Perhaps that is the tender task before us now, to look with care, to think with care, and then to carry that care, unspent and unexploited, back into our ordinary lives. If today has meaning, perhaps it is the kind we give it. We can let that word become a small lamp we carry through ordinary life. Start gently. Ring a friend you have not spoken to in too long. Take a short walk, stretch your back. Read a page you meant to read last month. Write a thank you note to a nurse, a colleague, a driver, a teacher. Encourage a young artist. Lay down one worry you no longer need to hold. In the comments, share a single line beginning, "Today I will." This is not a performance, it is practice. Consider a tiny today challenge. One kind act, no fanfare. If you feel brave, create a digital time capsule. Write a sentence your future self would be proud to find. None of these gestures will make the world perfect, but they will brighten your corner of it. And that very often is how hope begins, quietly and close to home. Across cultures, we share small rituals that teach the hands how to help the heart. In Seoul or Singapore, Tokyo or Toronto, Bangkok or Brisbane, Paris or Prague, people light a candle, place a flower, bow their heads, or stand in silence by a bridge at dusk. These gestures are not proof of anything. They are a language love understands. If a blossom speaks to you, let it be a blessing, not a breadcrumb. If a temple roofline calms you, let it be a shelter, not a cipher. You do not need to force a code from a picture to honor what it meant to you. Consider a gentle ritual of your own. Lay a flower in the garden, share a quiet song at home, or look up at the night sky for 1 minute and simply say thank you, for art, for companionship, for the grace of an ordinary day. These rituals do not erase sorrow, but they give it shape, and in that shape we find room to breathe. Some notes are powerful because of the silence wrapped around them. Perhaps today is that kind of note. A pause that lets us hear more clearly. It is natural to want neat answers. Dates aligned, questions resolved, meaning pinned to a board like a butterfly. But life and art often resist neatness. We can choose what we carry forward. Sincerity over suspicion, steadiness over hurry, kindness over noise. If this post has comforted you, let it lead you to one more generous conversation, one more patient decision, one more careful step into the day you have. When the future feels uncertain, it helps to build a small, reliable rhythm. Call a friend, take a walk, make tea, breathe slowly, say something true and gentle. Grace does not remove the unknown. It lights a path through it. And on that path, today is enough. This program reflects public posts and community discussions. Where interpretations appear, they are offered for reflection, not as statements of fact. We distinguish what is confirmed from what is plausible, and what remains unknown, and we avoid speculation that could harm real people. If you choose to discuss this story, please do so with the same care. Protect privacy, honor grief, and remember that behind every post is a person and a family. Thank you for spending part of your day with Update X24H. If our calm, human approach resonates with you, please subscribe, like, and share so more people can find thoughtful storytelling online. Tell us in the comments. Today I will. Your single sentence may be the steady light someone else needs. We are grateful you are here. Stay well, take care of one another, and we will see you in the next story.